Hey guys, Brian Horton with BK Trading Academy. Let me ask you a legitimate question. Have you ever tried to draw the perfect trend line so that you can have the best entry? Well, I have news for you guys. There are no such things as the perfect trend line. And number one, you do not want to only enter based on where the trend line is at. I'm going to show you why and how to identify key levels to get you into the best sniper trades entries ever. I'm going to help you to get an advantage over the market so that you can play the right game with these hedge funds the right way. So guys, stick with me really quick. This is a video that you really want to watch because it can get you ahead of the game. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so we're looking at Euro AUD, which stands for the Euro versus the Australian dollar. And we're starting on the higher time frame. We're looking at the daily time frame right here. Now we want to identify what trend we're in. And now it doesn't take a genius to know that we're in a downtrend. You don't have to have extensive trading knowledge by simply identifying that we're in a downtrend. So what we'll typically do is grab the top or the high right at the edge, and I drag it and I try to connect as many points as possible. And it may not be that perfect, but I want to try to drag and touch as many tops as possible. We're in a downtrend. So we have a high here, we have a low. And so we want to continue to see that momentum. So I'm going to show you how to adjust your trend line based on what price is doing and where to put your entries in. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit play. And we can see that price is respecting our trend line. It's bouncing right off of it. And guess what? It breaks right through it. So what do? One, we want to see if our downtrend is still intact, right? We still have our lower lows. Our lower lows are right here. Our lower low, our lower low. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue to play and see what happens. And it continues to the upside, right? So one or two things I can do. I can go ahead and drag this over here to continue our downtrend, or I can keep it here. Now, which one should I do? So in order for us to have a trend reversal, we want to see a break, not just through the trend line, but a price going higher than the previous. Okay. So here is our previous right here, and it will violate that downtrend when price goes up, breaking that entry right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it out and see what will happen. Now, let's see, should we start an uptrend here? Should I do something like this, where I grab it from the bottom to the second candle here, the low here, and let's see what happens here. So I'm going to hit play. All right, now we can see that price clearly broke past that trend line. So what I want to do is adjust the trend line, because if I would have bought here, I would have been in drawdown. You would have been negative a bit, but you want to adjust it, and it's completely fine to adjust it. Now, the only reason why we have trend lines is to help us to identify a long-term trend, because we all know that when we are in an uptrend, we want to buy at the higher lows. This is our higher lows. Now, if we're in a downtrend, we want to sell with our lower highs, like this, for example. Okay, so we're looking for higher lows to buy from. We would have entered here, price would have shot up, and we would have exited right here. And guess where price went? Right where our previous lower high is at. Okay, so this is an area of structure here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that right there. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and mark this here as an area of resistance. So let's go ahead and type in resistance here. And we know that 9 times out of 10, when price comes to this area, is going to shoot to the downside. So is our uptrend still intact? It is. It kind of sort of is, because it still broke this area right here. So it broke that, and it's still continuing. Now, typically when price breaks that area, it like to come down and retest this structure here. Sometimes it can break it going further, but let's play it out and see what happens. All right, right there, price came, retested this area here and shot to the upside. Now I want to show you guys here on the right, this is price, okay? And these candles here reflect this price here. So if I move my chart over to this number here, to my understanding, the banks and the hedge funds who actually move this market, so all of these candles here are a result of the banks and the hedge funds trading. Us as retail traders do not move candles like that. So this here is significant to those who move the market here. So if I look at the price, Around 1.49 thousand area is a really good area for these banks and hedge funds to actually buy, right? And if it was in a downtrend, they would have sold. So this is a key area. So it's important to identify these areas of entry, which is also known as support and resistance, before we even buy or consider selling off of a trend line. So let's continue to play it out and see what happens. All right, now price breaks through this trend line here, okay? And now because it broke through here and it's retesting this lower high here, we're gonna see what happens, because one or two things are gonna happen. Either price is going to come down, shoot down here to this bottom, which is a huge support zone. So this is our huge support area right here. Or price is going to shoot up and do something like this, retesting our resistance, okay? So let's hit play. Awesome. So it came back, shot up and hit our resistance. And now it looks like it's starting to consolidate a bit at this area. Okay. So we know that every time price hits a resistance, 9 times out of 10, it's going to shoot down and you're going to sell. If it hits support, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit buy and it's going to go up. Okay. Until it eventually is going to break. It's not going to hold that status for too long. Now, because we have been in a downtrend in the past for a while, I can anticipate an uptrend is coming. Okay. So one, I can extend my trend line and do something like this because I'm still in an uptrend, and I'm going to show you the ingredients of an uptrend here. So I have my low right here. I have my high, my higher low, my higher high, my higher low, and it hasn't quite made a higher high. It's still at this resistance area here. So let's play it out and see what will happen. And guess what? It came and broke our trend line here. And guess what? It came to retest this area here. This is a very popular price here. This is what our hedge funds and our banks pay attention to, not necessarily our trend line. The banks and the hedge funds do not know where we are marking our trend lines because everyone's trend line is different. The purpose of a trend line is just so that we know the overall structure of the trend. Now, the steeper the trend line is like this, the faster price is going up. The wider the trend line is, the slower price is going up. So now notice how price is bouncing up from resistance to the support. Buy, sell, buy, sell. These are very significant areas, and it coincides with the price over here on the right side. So price is king above the trend. Unless you're a long-term trend trader and you're an investor, don't really worry too much about the trend unless you just want a bias, whether you're going to buy or sell short term. Okay. So now let's go ahead and play it out and see what happens. All right. Price comes and shoot down, and I'm going to stop it right here. All right. So look, it comes and retests this bottom. Now, let me show you something here. I'm going to zoom out a bit. And this is the lowest price has been in a while. So right here in March 2022, it came back and retested this area in August 2022. That is a strong support zone. That is a buy area. So now our structure of our uptrend previously is completely wiped out. Now remember, we had our uptrend right here. It has broken, and now it is starting a whole new trend here. So we're at the bottom of a trend, and we're going to figure out what's going to happen. So from here to here, we were actually in a downtrend, right? So I'm going to connect my dots here. I like to do a parallel line here. I connect the top of my trend line a little bit outside of the wick, touch the bottom here and do something like that. And then I like to copy and paste it to the opposite side, to the lowest of the lows here. So to the lower lows. Now I have a bias to buy off of this area. And so even though price isn't touching the bottom of my trend line to signify a buy, like a lot of people would assume, I'm looking more at price and structure here, right here, which is telling me to buy. So I would have bought right here, and I'm going to hit play. Now, because it's at a lower low, in my mind, as a swing trader and a position trader, I'm at the lowest of the low. I believe that it may be starting an uptrend, but I don't have that confirmation yet because I haven't started making higher highs and higher lows. So let's go ahead and hit play. It breaks my trend line. And so at that point, I will go ahead and adjust my trend line, and I can do something like this until it breaks this structure here. So this is still intact right here. And guess what? Price breaks it. And typically when price breaks it, it likes to come down and retest. And it also comes to this area here. If it doesn't come and retest, it will continue to the upside and break that here and maybe come and retest that top resistance area. So I'm going to hit play. It broke this structure here. So 9 times out of 10, it will retest that previous resistance zone for a support zone. So something like this, it may come down and hit anywhere within this red rectangular area right here. So let me go ahead and delete these. I'm going to hit play and let's see. Price is moving and it comes and retests this area, which signals us instant buy. And sometimes it will just kind of hover around this area or even come back and retest this area multiple times because it is a hot spot. That is a hot price here. So remember the price on the right side as I move my chart. It is at this number here, which is at 1.54546. So this area here is very significant to our hedge funds and our banks who trade the market. I'm going to hit play. It comes back, retest it, and notice every time it comes to retest this area, it shoots up. So even if I grab my ruler and measure from here to here, for example, that's 346 pips, right? I'm on the daily time frame. You can do this on any time frame, but you want to start off on the higher time frame to at least to get the overall trend here. So each candle represents a day. So you would have been swing trading this here, but I'm just showing you here to find these key levels. Now the trend line only acts as a barrier, whether if you need to buy on a higher low or if you need to sell on a lower high. All right, so now we have our uptrend here. I'm going to grab my trend line from this bottom here to right here. So we're clearly now in an uptrend. So I'm going to hit play. And oftentimes price could break our trend line. That's why we don't trade only based on our trend line. We trade based on price action, which is the horizontal line right here. And then we adjust our trend line based on how steep and how fast and how long our trend is. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play one more time. It breaks our trend line, come and retest this area. And we're still in an uptrend because it hasn't broken this resistance area right here. So I'm going to hit play. And as long as it doesn't break this, we can continue in that uptrend momentum here. So very, very simple, guys. I know I have a lot of markings here on my chart. One thing that I want you guys to understand is that we buy based on these key levels. One way to identify these key levels is when you see price stick out like this here, where it came to the upside, it sticks out and then it's shot down. You may see a number of clusters or a number of candles all in that area. That is a key level. Same here, it sticks out and then it's shot down. Same here. It sticks out and then it's shot down. So I know that this whole area, this price here on the right is very important. So when price comes back again, I have an idea of how to trade it. So I'm in an uptrend and I simply adjust and pivot my trend based on the consolidation of my candles. And if the candles break this area here and starts to head down like this here below my key area, then I know that there's a possibility of a retest and price may continue to make lower highs and lower lows such as this, guys. So guys, that is it. To pinpoint your entries, you want to identify your key levels. Here's a key level right here. Here's a key level right here. And just know that the price on the right side is significant to the hedge funds and the banks when they're moving the market. Just like when you're in a grocery store, when you're looking at price of food, you're looking at the price. You're not necessarily thinking about the trend of that item. You're thinking about the current price and you want to buy at the best price. So that's what we're doing, guys. And so let me know if this was helpful for you guys. This is how you can actually pinpoint sniper entries, identifying those major levels. This will work on any time frame because there are minor levels. This is considered major levels because we're on a higher time frame. I'm showing you levels that are significant to the banks and the hedge funds here. So guys, let me know in the comments if this was beneficial to you, and let me know what else that you guys struggle with so that we can make sure that we make videos like that. Also, we do analysis videos. So if there is a pair that you want us to analyze, let us know as soon as possible so we can drop that out and help you out as well. If you are a struggling trader, all of our information is down below in the description below. And beware of scammers. We have people who are impersonating us on Telegram. They use our same pictures and even our names. So if it doesn't come from the description below, it is not us. We will never ask you for money. We will never trade for you. If you don't get it from our website, bktradingacademy.com, it is not us. Guys, I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.